من دوارتورای امروز رو سعی میکنم که به هر دو لنگویج فارسی و انگلیسی تا اونجایی که امکان هست بگم، به خاطر که I have some special guests here that they only understand English. اینه که I'll try to cover as much as I can in English and as much as I can in Farsi. We read the section of the Torah called Tavo. Tavo is always read before Rosh Hashanah, and it's quite an unusual parasha. It's actually it could be a very scary parasha if you read it literally. If you read the simple translation in Farsi or English, you might get very confused of why Torah goes through all these negative, that seems to be negative verses, negative sentences, negative words in this parasha. This parasha has a combination of blessing and curses, and it seems like there are more curses than blessing in this parasha. There are actually 98 curses. And I know in some synagogue, they usually read this section very slowly, very quietly. Somehow they're afraid that the curses are curses. But we learn in Kabbalah that our Torah is emet. Our Torah is all light. Our Torah is all energy, positive energy. There is no such a thing as negativity in the Torah. And we'll get to that when we go through the reading. I'll try to explain that more in details. But there is this beautiful concept in this parasha called Bikurim. Bikurim. It says that when you come to the land of Israel, and you plant trees and vegetation, when your trees bloom and they produce fruit, you should pick the best fruit, the very first and the best fruit of your trees from the tree, cover it in a very special way, and bring it to Bet HaMikdash and give it as an offering to Bet HaMikdash, to the Holy of Holies. What are we talking about? Does God need the best fruit that you produce? And if you go back to the story of Genesis, you see the two sons of Adam, Habel and Gabel, Ain and Cain. They both bring offering, and because one of the offering was not perfect, God didn't quite like it. So what is this offering is all about? What is this Bikurim is all about? And what doesn't make any difference in anybody's life? That what did we do some 3,000 years ago when we had a Bet HaMikdash, when we had all that glory, and what we used to do? We're not doing that anymore. We're not taking any fruit to Bet HaMikdash anymore. So why are we reading it? And why are we supposed to read this before Rosh Hashanah? It seems unusual for someone who plants a tree and waits for the tree to bloom and have fruits, and then you go and you take the best fruit of that tree, the best one, the very first one, and then you offer it to Hashem. We know there is a concept that if somebody has the firstborn son, even that we offer it to Kohanim. What is this offering is all about? And I need to mention that it says in Midrash, and that's the whole secret of Bikurim, that the whole creation was created because of Bikurim. offering the first, offering the best to the light force of God. Before Adam and Eve made the original sin, they had a different energy, a pure light, pure love, most amazing consciousness, no negativity, nothing at all. They had it all. And when Adam and Eve, they made the original sin, they fell, then a creation became a reality that is a combination of good and bad. Everything that we experience is a combination of good and bad. The tree of knowledge and good and bad. And at that moment, God tells Adam that because of what you did, you're going to work really, really hard in this world. Everything that we experience every day is the mixture of good and bad, positivity and negativity. We have day and night. Everything that we go through, every blessing that we receive is the mixture of good and bad. Even if you want to eat a fruit tree, even if you want to eat a banana, you have to take the skin of the banana and eat the banana inside. Nothing seems to be perfect. Nothing, there is no blessing that doesn't require some sort of challenge, some sort of negativity, some sort of darkness. In this physical world, in this physical reality, everything seems to be good and bad, positivity and negativity. If you want to have a good life, you have to work really, really hard. The blessing, they don't come in a perfect way. The blessings are enclosed into challenges, as we always talk about it in our Kabbalah classes, in our Shabbat sermon. We learn that we have to change the positivity into negativity. Nothing comes easy in this world. But Merubalim explained that there is a perfect light. There is a perfect blessing. There is an untouched light force that connects us to the energy, to the blessing before the sin of Adam and Eve. And what is that pure energy? What is that pure blessing? It's Bekurim. Merubalim explains that even though we live in the world of cause and effect, even though we live in the world of physicality, that if everything is a combination of good and bad, there is a light force, there is an energy, there is a blessing. There is a blessing that every one of us can connect to, can benefit from, can receive. And that's the gift of the Shabbat of Tavo. That's the gift of Bikurim. So how do we reach this? How do we reach this most amazing blessing that we all seek? I want blessing without any negativity attached to it. I want to receive the light without any darkness. I want to earn all my blessing without necessarily going through the challenges and the difficulties. And we learn in Kabbalah that this Shabbat, when we read the section of Bekurim, when we give the best of the best of the best, we let go of the best of the best of the best that we worked for. When we give it away, we connect to this light force. Let me make it a little bit more clear. It says in Midrash that who can connect to this perfect light, perfect blessing, perfect love? Someone that when they come to the synagogue to pray, they open all the doors. Not just one door, all the doors. And then we may think that, oh, so when I come to synagogue, I come in from that door. In order for me to connect to that perfect light, I have to use the other doors too. And then Mehubarim explains this beautiful concept in Midrash, that there are two doors. There are two doors, two forms of effort, two forms of consciousness. The first form, the first door, is that I walk in, I know this Shabbat is good, it's going to give me some blessing, it's going to bring me some energy, some positivity. I come in, I get it. It might stay with me, it may not. And we talk about it all the time. In order for all of us to receive more, we need to connect more to everything that we do. And then, like Rabbi Berg explains, there is a second door. A second door. And that door, the second door, connects us to this perfect love, perfect light, perfect energy. And that second door is when I truly, with all my heart, with all my soul, with all my being, dedicate to what I do. That means when I give with all my heart. When I pray with all my soul, with all my giving. When I talk about love, I'm not talking about a conditional love. I talk about a love that has no attachment to it. When I give without expecting anything in return. When I read the tefillah, I read it for the sake of being emet. Ari HaKadosh explains that when Moshe was leaving this world, and this section of the Torah has to do with the last days of Moshe Rabbeinu, when he was leaving this world, and he saw the future, and he saw that one day we'll come to the land of Israel. We inherit all this blessing. But then we're going to lose the Bet HaMikdash. We're going to fall into negativity. And we're going to not have the chance to connect to this perfect love, perfect light, perfect blessing. And then Moshe Rabbeinu, he injects, according to Midrash and Ari, that he injects this light, this perfect love, this perfect light. He injects it into all the tefillot that we read. That means, if I truly connect with all my heart, with all my soul, to the reading, when I put on my tefillin in the morning, when I say the Shema, when I pray for somebody else for healing, when I pray for somebody else success and happiness, and when I do it with all my heart, with nothing connect to it, without my ego, without anything that I want, and I connect to that, then I connect to this pure form of blessing, this pure light. It's the second door, Rabbi Berg used to say, not the first door. The first door is, yes, I have some certainty, I come in, I say a blessing, I'm thinking about what am I going to do today, all my problem, all the physicality and all the good and bad of my life. The second door is the door of absolute certainty. Absolute emunah, absolute emet. We know that what we live and it lasts forever is emet. Is emet, is the only thing that lasts forever. When you do something with all your heart, with all your being, when you share, when you give, when you say somebody I love you and you mean it, and you're willing to do everything for that love. And when you give, and you give with all your heart, without any condition, for the sake of emet, for the sake of Torah, then you connect to that second door, to that perfect light. Every Shabbat, we learn that. We receive some form of energy. Every Shabbat has its own gift. The gift of Tavo, the gift before Rosh Hashanah, the gift before receiving the ultimate light force of Binah. We have to be full of love. We have to be full of compassion. We have to be full of sharing consciousness. And we have to have absolute certainty. I explained this last year. These 98 verses, that is the most scariest thing, and in some synagogues they're afraid to read it loud. Ari explains that there are 26 times the combination of the Yud K Vav K during these 98 verses. 26 times. We know that the numerical value of the Yud K Vav K is 26. So it's actually, Ari explains in the most fascinating way, that the 26 times 26, 676, is the DNA, is the force, it's a light behind the perfect light, perfect blessing. In Parashat Behalotcha, we read about 49 curses. This parasha, Moshe actually add to these curses, but we know there is no such a thing as curse. These are the challenges that we fall into. In Parashat Behalotcha, when we read all the curses, then at the end we read all the blessing. It says, when you do all this, and then you do good things, you receive good things. Here, there is curses, then there is the combination of Yud K Vav K. There is curses, then there is a combination of the Yud K Vav K. That means challenges light, challenges light, challenges light. Absolute certainty. Not that I know this thing is going to be good. No, I know there is a challenge in my life. I know it's going to be, Zat Hashem is going to be good. No, it is good. It is absolute perfect. This Shabbat, we connect to the most powerful form of love, form of blessing. And it takes two doors, not just one door. Not just being here, being passive, being part of it. No, being an active, creating this love, this blessing. We bring this blessing. We manifest this pure love. And Zat Hashem, the book of this Torah, which is the Emet, which is the only reality that lasts forever. We all connect to this awesome power and we share it with the whole world. Amen. Amen.